Hello folks, I'm Bill. I'm here with Jesse.
Hello.
We are the Minimalist Garden and we are looking over our laboratory here and how we work and design and try to incorporate our ideas into our landscape here. You can see here we have a number of wildflowers and black-eyed Susans and coreopsis, a variety of those. Now every year those come in different because every year we put, they're native. We try to do as many perennials as we can, but they come in just as they do, and they've been blooming uh, consistently through the summer, and we are now in the middle of October, and you can see we still have some really nice blooms. You can see on this, we've allowed these grasses to come in. Here again, we have a number of wildflower plants here. You look at this plant bed, and you can see that it resembles a native, natural patch of land. So you can maybe imagine that there is no house here and there is nothing else here. There's just all this woodland forest that this used to be, and everywhere, and then there's a clearing, and here you have this this landscape of native plants that have populated this clearing. So look at it that way. We've had a lot of nice pollinators in this area this year, and that's exciting. I tried something new and I haven't had much success. I'm trying to get the birds to come in here, but I haven't seen any birds. We rake this whole area. It's a very fun thing to do. It's much more precise than, because you have to use a smaller rake and you have to go through around the areas, and then you have to be really gentle because you don't want to damage the plants that are stemming up. I've had a lot of fun with this, even though had some physical problems this year, but through all this just helped. And that's the other thing. There's a huge therapeutic value to having space like this. We wish there were more animals. It's heartbreaking to see how few animals we have. And we've spent quite a bit of effort in this whole idea of building habitat. So maybe they're just shy and they're not showing themselves. They are around. Well, we have a motion camera, and we want to set that up one of these days and take some motion. And if we do find some wildlife walking around at night, I do see some evidence here and there. This grass came in really nice this year. Like any living thing, what we designed our yard, we designed this laboratory to demonstrate that you don't want that a stagnant yard is just that. It's just if you don't interact, then it seems like what people want is just some linear, stagnant, permanent, never-changing thing. But the minimalist garden is not that. It changes all the time. 2 years ago, not this year, but 2 years ago, we had a really, really nice wildflower meadow over in that corner. We posted some things, I believe. I hope we did. But this year we didn't get that. We got something else. But this year we had a lot more moisture. Early on we had moisture. We're in a dry spell now. This is the first dry spell that I can recall since last winter. So that'll be good. These are all native plants designed to withstand that. But I think the moisture kind of gave it a problem. The extra moisture this year kind of stressed some of the native plants. This is our fig tree. These fig trees were gifts of Teresa's daughter and grandchildren to her on her birthday a few years back. And we put them in. They didn't do much. We haven't. The thing about these fig trees is, we just kind of let them grow, and they're really beautiful and they look nice, but they don't produce any figs. We had 2 this year. 2 figs. They were quite good. They were small, but they were good. So I've got to do a little more research on figs and what it is. Now, some people have said, and I don't know, somehow I resist this, but you should cut it all the way down to the ground, and then when it grows back in the spring, it'll produce fruit. So.
What I've seen with the fig trees in my yard, sometimes it takes a few years for them to get going on terms of getting good quality figs. Because this year I had a really good grow of figs in the fig tree in the backyard, but not the front. The front had smaller ones like you had, but it's had more time. The one in the back's had more time to grow and has more sun.
And you got a good yield.
Yeah, so it's yeah.
And the birds and the animals too.
Well,
remember, one of the purposes of the Minimalist garden is to attract animals.
Yeah, whatever I didn't get. There were a few.
Here's something you'd be interested in. This is the blackberry bush that you gave me. It's really come in this year, and I've been trying. I wanted to grow this way, but for one reason or another, it wants to grow that way. So I've just kind of let it go the way it wants to go. It's the Minimalist method. But I could, if I could train it, or if I get another branch next spring, I'll run it along this way. My idea is to have a blackberry bush all along this hedgerow, producing blackberries. Thing about working with nature, though, is you got to be patient, folks. It takes a long time. How long ago did we plant this, Jeff? Remember?
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back, a couple, 2-3 years. And it didn't do much. We thought it died, actually. But this year it came back like a gangster. So cool.
Yeah, but I think the fig tree, probably in another year or 2, you'll get more figs.
We got 2 this year. Maybe we had more and the birds fed on them. I hope so.
Huh.
Every now and then, one Minimalist technique, every now and then, that's the value of a stick. I have this broom with me today, but a stick. If you go, remember, it's all about interacting with the environment, with your natural space. So you want to interact with these plants, and they appreciate it. What I like to do is go and knock the dry stuff off, and leave the colored plant, of course, as long as they want to be there. And the plants appreciate that because they're being admired, and plants love to be admired. This is what they call a chokecherry tree. This is native, it's wild. Some people consider it a weed. I like it. It has really beautiful red stems. And really, these purple flowers, the birds love them. So and they've been eating on these because there were a lot more. See, you can see where they've been eating on them, and that's the idea. We're looking for the next wave of migratory birds. Like I said before, we're really troubled about the lack of animal life. It's like the animals are abandoning us. They don't want to be around us because we're too loud and too dangerous. And that's a shame because then we don't have the value of their presence. And we suffer.